And welcome to the making of UCSDementia.
This one took 20 years. Okay. I actually have the IU Bargain glasses, but I can't find them. Your vision's terrible. Everything looks like a potato. So, this thing that we're introducing and going to do a commentary on is the finale of the show UCSDementia, which was a sketch comedy show that we both did while we were at UC San Diego. And it ended up being the finale after about 4 years of work, because this one took so long to film and there were so many cuts. And on the circa 2003 computers, we lost a hard drive a couple of times. Yeah. And it ended up taking over a year to actually finish editing this and shooting it. And by the time that we had finished, a good portion of our cast had actually graduated and left. So we're not sure whether or not they ever saw it.
We don't know if anyone's going to see this either, because, honestly.
Yeah. So anyway, that's an awkward pause.
We excel at awkward pauses.
Yes. Enjoy.
Without further ado.
Yes. This commentary on the documentary that disappears entirely up its own ass.
Yes. SRTV presents a TriStar 20th Century. So
that actually isn't half
it's not
untrue.
Well, at least a couple of those had just merged recently when we made that.
Yeah.
I don't remember which ones.
Yeah, AOL doesn't exist anymore, but the rest, Disney owns everything now.
Yeah, pretty much.
We visit this site to point out how after 10 long years, it is still...
Actually, 20 long years.
Yeah, 20. Why did we have everything set in the past anyway? Do you remember? The whole idea that, it was about something that was from 10 years ago.
This show is really all about me.
Back in 1990.
It's all about you. No, I think we did it in the past because... How can you be nostalgic about something like a little while ago?
Right.
So it's like something that happened.
More gravitas.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah.
There was another thing that could just go completely wrong as the documentary eats itself.
Right. Yeah, that also gave us the ability to have the multiple layers where we're looking at footage from a different documentary that was made earlier, right?
There's Stephanie smashing the computer. It's like we're worried about a monitor smashing. Oh, here I am with the sneeze.
Was that a real sneeze?
I don't remember. I just remember watching this now. It's like, oh, this is designed to be seen on a very small screen.
Yeah, well,
because we are. I am just making a ludicrous amount of noise and movement.
Yeah, what was it, 640 by 340 or something like that on those old screens?
Right, and then when I actually shot it, it was DVD resolution.
Yeah. I think that's one of the few true things in this whole thing, though, is that, Aaron Feiger did have shows that he wanted to get off the ground.
Yeah.
You volunteered to do a sketch comedy show. That was actually true. The rest of it's bullshit.
I remember this lecture hall. It's a pain in the ass because I'm left-handed, and I think that was one of the ones that had no left-handed desks.
Right.
So I took up two of them.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
He jumped into the fountain, and that was pretty funny, and that became the show's trademark.
And
I first got involved.
The colors in this whole sequence with Tanner, I've always thought were so appropriate for some reason. Just like when I think of lecture halls at UCSD, it was like beige, brown and beige. Oh, there's the umbrella.
What I really wanted to do was documentaries. You see, I had just seen Man on the Moon, where...
So that's kind of true for me in a way. Like, before making this, I was kind of like fascinated by the idea of documentaries. Not like any particular one, but just like how they're constructed and kind of the tropes that go into
especially
them.
Weird ones like Fast, Cheap, and Out of Control, or things like that. Have you ever seen that one?
No, I haven't seen
Oh,
that.
it's nuts. It's we'll get into it later.
Yeah.
But it's about space travel done with like interviews with like insect scientists and things like that.
Huh.
As an interesting way of talking about how automated robots, the Fast, Cheap, and Out of Control satellite and exploratory satellites would work.
Huh.
But anyway, I'm actually part of a documentary now. You saw that,
we were
right?
talking
the
about
Doctor Who
the
one.
Doctor Who stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
It's funny watching this.
Just doing blatant.
I vividly remember where all these things were, and they're like within 20 feet of each other.
Yeah. This is just outside the window of the other side of the studio there.
Tanner is going to be.
But
and if I had gone back when I was watching this again, a lot of it, I'm surprised that there aren't really any very bad cringy jokes, because in 20 years I have moved on very much in my politics and my ideas. But because we use the same iMovie text from 60 Minutes, from this, from that, that's just all the same iMovie text. And it kind of it lets the illusion down.
I look back on all the other things
Yeah.
I've done. Like I did a tapeworm swimming pad, a bunch of floating donuts.
a lot of the like locations, like I was saying about thinking about
lighting effects,
process of documentaries, like who decides where someone's being interviewed and like what their background is, like what is the space that they're in. I remember having fun like coming up with ways to film a person who was just doing an interview that was just a totally inappropriate way to set up a shot for an interview.
Yes.
Like by themselves in the middle of a lecture hall. Like no one would do that. Like in front of a window.
Yes.
Looking inside instead of looking out.
You're saying that you just you sent Tanner this, and he was talking about how you got the only good acting out of him in all of UCSDementia, because I'm not really an actor's director.
But you were there though.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's fair. I think it's just that he was on a roll that day.
Yeah.
So that's
your roommate.
That's John. But part of the idea for this came from the negative feedback guy that comes in at the end of the Stratosphere album.
Oh yeah.
And he starts just cussing out all the people in the band.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I can see that's my writing. It has gotten so much worse in 20 years.
I wish that like some of these jokes don't really show an awkward segue. Like it goes by too fast and you can't see it.
Well, also,
but
when we get the original DV tape.
I remember when we made that prop, we had like 20 feet of paper on the floor, and we were using magic marker to draw that out. And when we pulled it up, there were black marks all over the floor of our kitchen in this place we were renting.
Yeah, it was annoying.
It was, yeah. Where was that?
That was in
an elevator shaft.
That was in a lecture hall where they had this really bad ADA thing.
Oh, it was
where
an
you could
lift.
Yeah, it was an ADA lift, so you could get in the lecture hall, and it was like a tent. Oh, wait. We don't speak over Esther.
Seeing the random, but actually very well written writing was made to appeal to me. You see, I like it when a subtle or simple point is made of superhuman quantities of hyperbole.
that
She's
appears twice in this documentary.
Yeah,
Second
that's
appearance,
an old
final
Monty Python
appearance.
bit from the Holy Grail trailer. Sir not appearing in this film. No, Esther is great. I wish we had used her more in this.
Well, we had a bunch of people who had just started, and I say we had a bunch of people who had just started. I was one of the people who had just started, who we were trying to make them seem like they had a substantial role in this 10-year-old TV show.
Yeah.
But they'd only been in one episode. So like
or one skit.
Holly, myself, like we'd all only been in like one skit or something. So there wasn't a lot we could really do with them.
Yeah. That was not a very graceful fake drop. And magicians, they call, the sleight of hand when you move a coin from one hand to the other, a French drop.
Right.
That, my fake spilling the water over myself was not a good French drop.
I think it worked.
Yeah.
I think it played fine.
We should do this. To which he
Oh, again.
No, Tanner. I like the fish.
But it just
Tanner would
the way the colors came together. It's like his legs match the chairs, his shirt matches the cement behind him, his hair matches the armrest things. Like
this
oddly
thing,
satisfying.
this weird little voice that he's doing. He would do that. I think it was an impression of one of his friends, and it's like. And we would just do that because we were roommates. He would just do that, and it would slay me every time.
Right.
So we're like, okay, we got to put that in the. Oh, here we go.
Nature. I don't remember why exactly, but I was feeling annoyed about the way the campus was being managed.
Yeah.
I think at that point.
So this is the first of our multiple camera bits, the kind of Back to the Future 2 sequence, and just to the right, Holly. You can
just barely see her.
You can see her little script.
Yeah.
When we circle back around again, she's hilarious. Because you were doing this ludicrous over the top delivery, and she is so angry with you.
Yeah.
At the end of the hall, that was our roommate was the residential advisor. And we had John doing his negative feedback bit in the living room, and he said, if he had his pad, he was going to write us up because that was underage drinking.
So you'll see in a later shot where John, the negative feedback guy, like pounds this beer.
Yeah,
he wanted verisimilitude.
Yes,
he chugged the entire thing.
Yes.
Not faking it and not fake beer. So fortunately, got it in one shot, I think.
Yeah.
But and we end up cutting away from it, if I recall. But we had footage of him finishing the entire beer. In one go.
I think the rhythm didn't work. I mean, we could have done a little thing where we sped it up like we did on some other ones, but again, verisimilitude.
I didn't realize that the RA was the other person in that suite. That's funny.
The RA was the snitch, the one that was reporting on all their friends.
Yeah. So we were actually we
were playing with fire.
Yeah. Man.
Oh, I love this.
The commercial.
Oh, the commercial. and then with the commercials, we're like, we got to break this up. We'll actually do some silly little skits.
Yeah.
This is Kathleen Carthy. She's an amazing actress.
She's been in a ton of like real stuff too.
Yeah.
She has career.
I remember like my jaw dropping the floor when I saw her on a episode of Castle.
Yeah.
And she was
was
killing it.
Yep. Yeah, we got some of her early work.
Yes. I remember she was one of the ones that never saw the whole thing. When I edited this commercial, I'd left a VHS in her mailbox because she was in the MFA program at UC San Diego, and she said that she and her girlfriend watched it and they were laughing. They had a good time, but she never got to see the whole thing.
Huh.
Now, Here's the thing. Those are the jokes. There's like 2 jokes in here where I take cracks at therapy, and I was watching this thing with my mom. Oh, here's another one where I take a crack at therapy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good bit. My grandmother made that coat, but that's the one thing that doesn't hold up because I'm like, fucking hey, therapy is great. And I was describing this to when we were watching with my mom. Is like with all these jokes about therapy, I'm like, this was the way I worked out my undiagnosed anxiety and depression was with this show because I had so much to prove.
Right.
This is Hal Malem. He's great.
I mean, we had to throw in something that was a little bit tasteless and off color, right? It was a college sketch comedy show.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah,
you know,
it's weird when stuff doesn't age well.
So that's kind of the only thing that doesn't age well in this. Like there's a homosexual joke a little bit later, but it's making fun of people who are homophobic.
Right. It's not really it's not an anti-gay joke at all. It's an
and I'm like
anti-homophobia joke.
You know, considering kind of the spectrum of my sexuality over the years and the people I've gotten to know, I'm like, yeah, okay, I was a decent enough ally back then with that bit.
I mean, yeah, for how old we were at the time and what we knew about the world.
Well, because the thing is that you know the 1990s was all gay jokes.
Yeah.
You get the idea.
It didn't have any shots of the sun god in it. Oh man.
The infamous summer show now.
So that's a puppet from the
first time watching the footage from this day when the puppets start fighting with each other. I could not stop cracking up.
Yeah.
I don't know how well it holds up over time.
Here, Easter egg. The chairs that we sat in for the introduction. That's one of them before I had it reupholstered.
Oh yeah.
No.
A lot of Monty Python's Flying Circus.
But the funny thing about this is that I was looking back and it's like I was just amazed at how cheap it was. Like I was stealing food from my roommates to be able to buy DV tapes to shoot this, and like everything that's in it.
Was well done.
Alina, she's great. Everything that was in it was like something that I'd built in high school. Like I built the umbrella in high school.
Right.
I built the Doctor Who coat in high school. I built these robots, these Mystery Science Theater puppets, and we did a movie right after high school. And then I had no money, and the whole documentary was sort of based on the idea that we would have the TV station had 3 cameras.
Yep.
And we could rent a 4th. So it was like, what could we come up with 4 cameras? That's my mom's house.
Yeah, it was
So cheap.
Yeah. I think the total amount of money we spent on this was probably less than $100, and most of that would have been food for some of the more
I spent
shoots.
more than that on tapes, but
Really?
yeah.
How much? Well, okay, yeah. No, that's true.
Oh, Jim's wearing the IU bargain coat right now.
That's the IU bargain coat?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Again, I'd gotten that at a thrift store in high school.
We just kept going. And in fact, if you watch the sketch, you can see it if you know what to look for.
So Jim finished up his narration bit, and the firefighters arrived.
We-
So I just explained to them we were doing an expository.
Where was this? We drove up to.
I think this was Alina's house.
Was that Alina's house? Okay.
Yeah.
I remember it was like a little road trip to film that bit.
Yeah.
Inside the house.
Okay.
One of them
Yeah, that and the stuff at my mom's house with this was
That's my apartment.
yeah, that was your apartment where we shot all the puppet stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone's running around yelling,
So this bit is, you know, the whole idea was that the documentary about the actual show would be kind of boring. So we came up with
Something to
ludicrous things that
spice it up.
happen, like, okay, we're doing this silly bit where we light dinner on fire. Oh, no, and then my mom's house burned down. And some of those work, like the thing with the robot works. I don't think the thing with the house burning down quite worked. It was all right, but it wasn't amazing.
Well, I mean, part of it was though, like part of it was just to kind of spice things up, because if we just said what had actually happened, it wouldn't be that interesting. But
after only getting second place,
See my hand. I think I'm doing both of the puppets right now.
Yeah.
One with each hand.
yeah, I think that's correct. Hiding behind the chair.
Yeah.
What was funniest to me, though, is not the robots fighting. What's funniest to me is the next time you see him, when it cuts back to him, it's a
Yes.
flower pot.
Yes. It's funny. I was watching this with my partner, and she was saying that that after watching this, she kind of wished that there were more clips of the actual show in it.
Yeah,
Like bits of the actual show.
I've had that thought too.
Yeah.
I mean, so much of the stuff that we ended up making up about the show was not true.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have really made sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, having more shots of the actual show
Would have helped.
would have helped in retrospect to sort of speed things up, do more.
Well, and also visually.
Yeah,
More
exactly.
interesting.
That could have been like a voiceover or something, but
Well, it's like we just thought, oh, we're just going to set people up, but no. Every person that we talked to was like a day.
yep.
Even though it was easily
Yeah.
a day because we had this rhythm in our head. We're both kind of into music, and the robots are fighting, and then the next shot it's gone. Oh, here we go. I like that cut.
Yeah, that one right there. Video. Yeah, we were I think surprised, maybe even too demanding in terms of like
Of timing. Yeah,
Like,
because
we
we were
giving
forcing
people
people. We're forcing people to speak in cadences that weren't theirs. So
Yeah.
even though a lot of this was based on, here we go. So the documentary breaks down, and so we go to some shitty interview footage of me as IU Bargain.
I think the idea was like this was going to be B-roll.
Yes.
And then the documentary decided at the last second to make it into the
Yeah.
main thing because
No, but it's
yeah.
so interviewing all these people, we sent them emails and we said make up bullshit about the show.
Yeah.
And so all of their interviews were based on that. But then we told them, now deliver it in a way that is completely unlike what your actual voice is.
And it was-
so that we could cut it together in this rhythm.
Right. It was difficult to
I
make
love that bit. You know what I had for breakfast? Muffins.
difficult to make people talk in a way that makes it sound like they're speaking off the cuff.
Yeah.
When it is like
Yeah, you're
it is
doing it
planned
over and over
down
and over
to
again.
to the comma, like
Yeah.
what they need to say and how they need to say it. Though I think
And this is like, so again, how cheap
who's
this
back
is.
there throwing stuff?
That was me.
Oh, you were back there.
That was
throwing-
me.
Yeah, right.
Me doing
You
the puppet.
and
Yeah, I
throwing
did all
stuff.
the
Yeah,
puppet
yeah.
on this. Like all the puppeteering, and then we brought James in to ADR everything. But like talking about how cheap it was, like that little TV, I think I got at a thrift store so that I could see what was going on. And then all those computers are like things that I pulled out of the dumpster
Yeah.
near the science building.
Yeah. Yeah,
That is
I vaguely
a
remember
a Dutch angle.
the Clint Eastwood poster in the background.
I think this is Derek's apartment.
No, this is still my apartment.
Oh, it was? Oh.
Yeah, that was Matt Gilo's
Oh, yeah.
poster. So Matt got into UCSDementia watching the SRTV
Yeah,
show. And I didn't ever watch SRTV because I didn't think there was anything good on there. And then at some point, Matt, who was like my roommate, was like, Clay, you've got to check this show out. This guy is nuts, and his stuff is way better than anyone else's.
Yeah.
And so he introduced me to UCSDementia.
That's actually transparent on there. That's a piece from Douglas Adams' Starship Titanic for the
yeah.
Because the robot is actually kind of cribbed from a design from Starship Titanic.
Right. Attack mode.
I love that.
So Matt, like, at some point, he's like, this show is great. I need to get involved. Like, I'm going to get in touch with Brian and meet him. And do you want to come with me? And I was like, okay. So that's I have Matt Gilo to thank for that.
Everybody likes this bit. And I had so much to prove that, like, at some point, like, I'm making fun of the thing that, the fact that, like, this is one of the most entertaining parts of it, because I'm like, you're so dumb. Why do you only like the robot? And I'm like, you know, now I'm a lot more mellow and have gone to therapy, and I'm like, yeah, just enjoy the robot. The robot's fun.
Yeah, why not?
But I had so much to prove back then because I thought I was going to be a great director. I also was really judgy about things like reality TV, and now it's just like, hey, you know, we just had a pandemic. Anybody that helps people out, you know, go for it. Who cares how quote unquote bad it is?
Jailbreak.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with Jim. James, he goes by James now.
We don't have the same eye line there. It's always bugged me. He's actually looking at the robot. I'm looking in my mind where the robot has, you know, hightailed it in the distance.
I like this shot. This is a pretty good shot. Like we had to move.
Didn't we move like the whole table away from the wall? Yeah. We had to set up everything, get the camera like.
Oh, so now at this point there are multiple Clay as Brian's because he's watching. Oh, there's your wife. There's Maddie, and Dan Baker, who was responsible for, I think, apart from the robot, the best bit in this, the trombone song that I cribbed.
Yeah,
I love that shot. Clonk, clonk. Now we got to be quiet.
Why are you speaking Japanese?
So I looked
Such
up.
A dumb bit.
It's actually a real sentence in Japanese. I don't remember what it means. Yeah. It's like your neighbor's Godzilla is a good customer.
Here we go. Here's
oh, there you are.
There's the second Brian. Now we got to be quiet because this is my favorite line reading in the whole thing.
What is it? Looks like the demonic sound how you bargain. That's not how you bargain. Hey, what?
Wait for it. I just love that. Yeah, statue. Stupid. You know, because that was in the Mystery Science Theater movie. We thought, hey, this is an original thing. This is going to be really cool. And then Lilo and Stitch came out and basically did the same voice and all that stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, that's not going to be original. We can't do that. This is my dad. He was actually part of the ski rescue team in Vermont way back when.
Schimwagen.
Yeah.
Was that a typo, or did you intend for it to not be Schwimwagen?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah,
I think.
So
it's
a reference to a vehicle.
Yeah, a VW.
Some kind, a VW.
Yeah. So that one, vehicle. I don't think that was the ad that the joke never quite stuck together. Oh, Derek wrote this.
Derek wrote that?
Yeah, Derek and I wrote that, and it's savage.
I feel like this is the most prescient of the whole bit.
Yeah.
And somehow I got landed with editing this. I don't know why, but like either you were too busy or you'd like tried your hand at it and weren't happy with the results. And like, why don't you try to see what you can come up with?
Slide whistle.
It was the first time I was like trying to edit something by myself, and I was totally overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But I feel like it came together okay.
Yeah. Well, and also, so the soundtrack of this is like random tracks off of the Royal Tenenbaum soundtrack. So this is a little bit of the Royal Tenenbaum score, and then Neil and Julio.
It goes into Me and Julio,
yeah, which is on the Royal Tenenbaums.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
My favorite bit. That was me making a mystery. Well, this is me making a Mystery Science Theater prop because it's just something with a bunch of stuff hot glued onto it.
Yeah. A friend.
Those Game Boys are actually worth money now.
We still have one. Maddie has one from when she was a kid.
That's my sister, being the annoying sister. She's actually not an annoying sister. But the yeah, so like my favorite bit of this documentary when we were starting to, Josh wasn't available to to interview, but put a clip in them. I love that. The memories. I still remember them.
Well, so the part of I think why that line was there, and I think it works fine by itself. Though there was a line in an early edit of the script where I was talking about how we all went through a phase of rampant drug use.
Yes.
So the idea that I would still remember the memories.
Yeah.
You know, the drug route.
Yeah.
The drug use did not.
There's my umbrella.
Happen.
I'm sad. I accidentally left that in a lecture hall at UCSD, and when I went back, it was gone. But I made two of them at the same time. I made one that was short, and I still have that one. And then, being the golden age of nerds, now I have. Let me count over here. I have 4 others. Yeah.
You mixed a unique color of red paint for it.
Yeah.
You could always tell it apart in a group of prop replicas.
So here is where we have the multiple Clays, because Clay is pretending to be Brian, because
but I'm also,
right before the break,
yeah.
Clay pretending to be Brian is watching the monitor of the Demonicus attacking me while Clay pretending to be Brian is doing an interview.
Yeah.
So I think we worked it out. There's like 6 of us.
I don't even. Yeah.
Because there's multiple IU bargains too. Like IU Bargain is talking about something while the other's on scene. So
IU Bargain,
Rachel.
I think IU Bargain exists in a time loop.
Yeah.
And then the rest of us are just have multiple versions.
Rachel, she had amazing comic timing. I think we kind of wasted her on this.
Yeah, we could have definitely given her more.
Yeah. At Tanner's wedding, I gave him that bread knife. Way back when.
So the second shot we did of that clip right there, she destroyed that little puppet thing.
Yeah,
she was
and
holding,
it's in the outtakes.
And it's not hers.
Yeah.
It was like a friend's thing, and that was, yeah.
Yeah, so on the second take of that, it broke, and you can see it in the outtakes. But again, this is another one of those judgy therapy jokes. It's like Rachel Jones
undergoing
therapy.
Yeah. Not.
Holly is so good in this. She's just this kind of fastidious evil. I really like the kind of fastidious, quick talking kind of thing. So like a lot of the stuff that you're doing here is this just kind of like is this sort of rat-a-tat delivery, and then Esra was doing the rat-a-tat delivery, and Holly is doing this thing where she's doing that kind of delivery, but also kind of like moving her head around like a bird, which is what I told her to do, and she's so goddamn funny in it. And then we take a break, and Tanner does his sigh.
And like the background music stops.
Yeah.
Abruptly. Tanner is by himself. The background music comes back in. Everyone exists in their own
and
sort of musical
poor Holly,
world.
You could see how bad the wind is blowing. We should have just filmed somewhere else.
It was.
But I wanted it to be outside.
Location, yeah. I don't know. I think it looks.
That was at it was like whichever college is way out by the
Ravel.
Way out by the parking lots.
Canyon.
Yeah, it was their cafe overlooking the canyon.
By this time, Tanner had become so delusional.
Now, so
He was starting to spout
you did a YouTube edit of this. So we timed it.
What's the definition of
Stephanie,
still love that joke.
Stephanie was so good at playing the straight man against all these stupid bits.
On the other end, it was pretty funny,
Yeah.
but it wasn't pretty. Not at all.
But we timed it so that all of these walking bits are exactly in time with like the stuff that IU Bargain was doing at the studio. Right. So that and you did that, and that was like that's a detail that nobody would ever notice. But but we were going so crazy with editing that we're like, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah. Well, that's what, like when I watch movies and TV shows and stuff like that, I'm always looking at the background. Like I'm never looking at the face of the main character or anything. Like I get obsessed with like background details and looking for inconsistencies.
Oh, here you go.
Stuff.
Here's Clay.
Well, there's finally me as myself as a communications major. Little bit of a dig there. Cheap joke. My apologies to any communications majors out there.
No wonder I never get it.
No wonder I never.
This was the day that we were more. I was more hungover than I've ever been in my entire life. So there's some stuff with the two of us on the couch, and it took all afternoon because neither one of us had any comic timing.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough.
Yeah.
Derek does everything.
Derek does everything. Derek does. Like, who the hell is that guy?
Yeah. And Andrew, he'd only been in one bit.
No, but I mean, like in the course of the documentary so far, we haven't seen him, and suddenly we're like, what? I do everything. That is the worst acting I've ever seen of anybody. I don't know.
But that was intentional.
Okay.
Was it? I think, but that whole sequence, I think that was my first day as you.
Oh, maybe.
Like when I'm sitting in that chair right there.
Yeah.
That was my first day, trying to figure out how to act
Here
like
we are
Brian.
again in my apartment with we just put pictures from Maxim on the wall.
Yeah.
And Mike, I think Mike could have done. We kind of wasted Mike on this because he was.
Yeah, we could have used him for more.
Yeah, and we could have done a better bit. Like I Want to Make Porn wasn't that great of a bit, except for the stuff with John.
Right. Well, I mean, that was part of it from the beginning, though. We had always intended to cut away right there.
Yeah! Finally, this is getting good.
Yeah, so this is...
And then he shotguns the entire beer.
The entire beer. We had footage of it, but then, it was just taking so long.
Yeah.
I like to imagine what he was saying during that censored bit.
Yeah. Well, because the thing is that we say fuck in the documentary, so why would we censor it?
Wait, we do?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
I thought we did.
Pornomentary.
Documentary, not a pornomentary.
Behind the scenes issues that we have to talk about.
Nothing really. Can I say something?
You just live in the studio.
Don't whine.
Well, we do have a studio tour.
And here we go.
So-
Here's
so
our other Back to
like-
the Future segment.
Right there, 6 months have passed.
Yeah. And there's Mike
Looks like they're
filming. We just had everybody filming.
There-
Maddie
yeah,
was
there's-
filming.
Maddie was
Derek
filming.
was filming.
Derek, yep.
Stephanie was
Doing the
interviewing
straight
me
man.
while I was just talking through my nose and doing weird little Andy Kaufman bits.
We managed to do 45 different sketches in that corner.
One of the things that I'm proudest of, though, for the studio tour, we put a lot of work into this, these 2 minutes of footage.
Yeah.
But one of the things I'm proudest of is from that line where I say, okay, we'll do that then. And this is where it all happens.
Yeah.
I cannot tell, going back and reviewing it, I cannot tell that, 6 months have passed between those two. The lighting is the same.
Yeah.
My hair is the same. The continuity
Well, and also
is
you missed
really
on the iMac was our final shot, which is us as ourselves again hungover trying to do a bit.
That was, we were supposed to have it as a full screen. Instead, we had it in edit mode, so it was a much smaller image. But it was still the best take.
Yeah.
Getting the timing to work with this.
Yeah, this took
just a
all
nightmare.
day. Because it's like a dance. Because
Yeah,
you
I've
have
and
3 different cameras.
IU Bargain has a monologue.
Yeah.
Our monologues have to sync up, and we can't hear each other.
Right, and Tanner is dressed as IU Bargain, putting the camera there. Oh, this is the Ezra's other bit, which was
just her
this
voice.
fake perfume ad, and then Amanda Dolan, who was we saw her a little bit. There she is. She's sitting. I'm at my mom's house. Amanda Dolan is doing all of these over the top shots, pensive shots, and then we're doing Suburbia.
So ridiculous.
and then just the line, Suburbia by Ralph Lauren. Smell exactly like your neighbor.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Originally, the music was
Journey of the Sorcerer,
by the Eagles, but the Eagles won't let us have it on YouTube.
Yeah,
So.
that's the theme to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah. I think this music works fine. And actually, the transition at the end of this bit, the transition into the next bit musically, actually works pretty well. Because it goes into a minor key abruptly, and then it changes.
Yes, you would know that.
Right there.
That's Doctor Who soundtrack. from the Doctor Who TV movie, which I used in everything.
Yeah.
We used it in the horror movie.
Yep.
We used
Yep.
it when the puppet was skulking around. I just knew it really well.
Right.
Because I had seen that movie so many times and I had the CD that I just knew the beats. And I'm like, okay, that bit will fit.
Right.
Same as the Royal Tenenbaums soundtrack. I just listened to it so many times. And I listened to Blur so many times. I'm like, okay, I want this rhythm. That piece of music fits exactly there.
Yeah. I'm trying to. Had Lord of the Rings come out when we put this together? Because I feel like that rhyme, like, not every myth is a mystery, not every future is foretold, not all that is silent is secrecy.
I
Like, that feels like that Lord of the Rings thing, like, not all who wander are lost. But I don't remember if the movies had come out by then.
This is that story.
Is that?
Story. Coming up next on SRTV. Yeah. And then this, like...
there we go. This
Filling in for Brian. This is the next bit.
this is like this. We were so. I think this was near the end, and we were just like, let's just do something that's just a dumb bit. Like
we were too tired to keep on taking everything seriously, and so we just loosened it up a little bit.
And I'm just doing stand-up bits, but it's like this whole thing with the music stand. Again, that was something that I got in high school.
Yeah,
when I started learning the guitar. Oh, and this was all silent, and you were trying to make it work afterwards because I wasn't playing the trombone nearly as fast, and you were trying to write something that worked.
I thought I was there with the keyboard, and wasn't I like just off camera playing that live?
No.
Really?
I think we just had the.
It was just you on trombone?
It was just me on trombone, and that's why I'm playing it kind of slowly. And I remember you saying, "You're playing it too slow for us to do the actual tune of the song."
I don't remember that.
And so you're messing with it. Okay, let go music stand. There you go. And then this is my favorite bit of acting that I ever did on SRTV.
When I overdosed on Cheerios.
No, it's when
the next bit. Yeah, your character change.
Gave me a little monologue to read because he had to run.
Just the timing. That is a good French drop.
Right.
That was perfectly timed, and just the I really like that little bit.
And it is this which we hope to give some insight into in the forthcoming section.
But again, that's an Andy Kaufman bit, Mighty Mouse, where he's this mumbling guy, and then he turns into, Elvis or whatever.
Right.
I think that what really makes Dementia
I like that Tanner's description changes periodically. So now
yes,
he was a student before, and now he's a PhD
candidate.
Later than him,
and then
he's a lecturer.
He's Professor Dr. Mitten.
Dr. Mitten. Which is not. I think he actually does have a doctorate, doesn't he?
I don't
remember.
Andy Kaufman did something.
Maybe
it's
not.
automatically cool.
I don't know.
The essence of
Greg Burton, film analyst.
It's social commentary. It's all of it.
Well, I think it's also we were just doing these jokes just to keep us sane while we were editing this thing.
Right. Yeah.
The character's sock. It's
And then the date changing.
Yes.
a fucking piece of footwear, but it's on someone's hand.
I think Greg was the only one where we let him completely improvise.
Yes. Because we told them, like, okay, there's this cadence, and he just nailed it.
Yeah. We gave him there were certain details that he
There
had
were
to touch
beats
upon.
that he had to hit, yeah.
But yeah, his
I just
stuff is all
texted him.
advanced.
I texted him when this went up on YouTube, and I said, your comic timing is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love
and
that
then
you can kind of see the room behind him,
Yeah.
and then kind of nod at the
Yeah.
top.
So now he's Professor Dr. Mitten. But again, this
Look on
sequence,
his face.
the sequence again is, it was a bit in the Royal Tenenbaums where they were doing this fugue or whatever it is, this classical music and this tableau, and the scene kept on changing, and they changed the type of music that they were playing from
Right.
the same piece, and so I always thought that was like a great thing to put in a documentary. So I just put that in. I played this at my this was the running away music when I got married to Stephanie.
It is truly
The same piece.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it started with the drum, and then it was like, you know.
Yeah.
amazing thing.
Philanthropist.
All the work that I've done,
I don't know where we came
my
up with that.
relentless devotion to detail,
Yeah.
my brilliant,
Brilliant
comedic
comedic
ideas.
ideas.
my
And then we had to edit all the timing for that.
I was like
Yeah,
a
it's
father
funny.
figure to them. I mean, whenever they needed something from me,
It's definitely fun to put
all I had
the
to do was ask.
putting the soundtrack together
Oh.
for this and the music
Yeah.
together was a lot of fun.
Not ask.
And here's that
Question.
that homophobia joke, which John sells it so well.
Yeah.
Okay, look. When I was editing the hour-long episode, right there.
Had he been in? Had he?
He'd been in one
He'd
bit,
been in
just
one
like
thing, right?
yeah, like
In
Andrew.
the,
Yeah,
It
all
was
the
like
female
it was a
cast
Jay and-
members. Yeah,
Jay and
Oh,
Silent Bob or
yeah,
something.
okay, yeah.
And
Some of the male ones. And just the way that his hand is like stuck and he can't get it out.
Yeah.
That's a great bit.
Fighting
I have to
appearance.
rewrite this whole section.
When I started Dementia, the show was already.
So this was like
This is where
we actually start telling the truth.
Yeah,
So we had
the-
to make the editing really wild so that it wouldn't be too boring.
One thing I noticed is that
and so we're like it's like Radiohead's the national anthem, and then it's like merging into some of Don Salsa,
It
that
does-
kind of like crazy noise rock.
Which is so. And I think that part of Don Salsa, they sampled from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the movie.
Oh,
So I think there's bits and pieces of that soundtrack as well,
Okay.
mixed into this whole sort of
Okay.
noise.
what could be done with a
And then
of
I don't know what you did, but you did all the editing for this and got the colors
Yeah.
to go haywire and just like
yeah. Well, that's
You did all that
again. That's an Andy Kaufman bit where he did his TV special, and he's talking to Howdy Doody, and then the
from the English.
thing breaks. We had so much of this
Dementia.
yeah, there were a lot of clips of the
of
fundamentalist
the fundamentalist dementia because at this point
Is the question.
the documentary is breaking down and it's talking about how Clay started a cult.
Yes, that's
And
the
then
idea.
and then the documentary is starting to achieve sentience and is breaking down around him because it doesn't want to tell this story.
Yeah,
And that ties into a bit later, which we threw out, where the documentary in the making of started achieving sentience and editing together words that people were saying to tell the actual story, but
Right.
it didn't work.
yeah, we couldn't get the timing to quite.
Yeah.
We actually like did a full edit of that and then
Yeah.
threw it out.
Yeah.
Blank screen. No filming.
So
This was really fun to film.
yeah.
I got to wear the IU bargain outfit.
Yeah, I went to another thrift store and got another coat.
mixed in a style more suitable for.
Like, this is fun, but so much to prove. I'm like saying,
Ooh.
so now in the cinematic universe, there's two IU bargains, and there's actually a third.
Yeah, because the third one lives in
Yeah.
the studio behind the
Yeah.
cabinet. He's
But
just always there.
like it's a good bit, but I'm so condescending to the people watching this. Like, you'll understand this now.
Yeah, it's really
like
rude.
like the bit like the bit where we like it
Optimized for American.
like it broke down is funny enough without me being that condescending.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a product of
Yeah.
a couple of young, arrogant dudes.
And
That's
that
all
entire
can be said.
that entire bit was just based on a Stratosphere song where they did death metal for 55 seconds and then went to jazz.
Yep. Yeah, burnt corpse. Was there some like? How do we come up with Alistair Hamilton? Like, is that from something, or is that
No,
we
it's just
try to come up with a British
just a
sounding
British
name?
name where he's doing a terrible British accent.
Yeah, narrator for hire.
Yeah. And he was drinking one of those I forget who made them, those crazy
juices,
blended juices
yeah.
that used to be so popular in the 2000s.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's just put it on the table next to you.
Yep.
The whole thing was pretty complicated. At first, I remember
originally we had this thing where Greg's bits, he's sitting in a tree,
Yeah.
and we had it like zoomed way in from a
Yeah.
distance, and it was going to be this sort of gag where every time you cut back to Greg,
No, and they did
he'd
that.
be further away.
Yeah, they did that. We did that mostly.
But we ended up zooming
Like
back in
digitally
on it
zooming back in because it
didn't work.
It didn't play,
on that
yeah.
level of resolution. Like,
So here we go.
Yeah.
Here's the second level where we're talking about the studio tour and filming Derek, who's filming the studio tour.
Yep.
And
Have we already done the apartment tour? No, this is the first time.
This is the
we've
first
seen
time on the
split
apartment
screen
tour.
thing. Yeah.
Of the actual documentary
Yeah.
that you were filming, a challenge.
And I think this is
there were problems behind the scenes that had to be
who's filming the second one? Oh, this is
filming the second one.
right because she had to like scrunch in the corner so she wasn't seen.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we had like tape.
But there's a third. No. Oh no, she has the big camera, and then Tanner as IU Bargain has the tiny camera that he sets on the table.
Right. Yeah, I think that when we scripted it, the camera Mike Steffen has, which is recording IU Bargain number 1, that was camera 0.
Yeah,
And then Derek's camera is camera 1.
yeah,
Maddie's camera is camera 2. And then IU Bargain's, the one Tanner was holding, is camera
Yeah.
3.
It was like home
So
movies,
4
you know,
cameras.
the kind of stuff that you stick on the shelf and never watch again. It was mostly people doing second and third takes, getting caught up in station politics.
There's this trope in documentaries
Yeah.
where like they set up like an argument between
Yes.
two people,
Mhm.
right? So just
And-
wanted to riff on that.
and here Holly's kind of starting to do the sort of tense, angry, like pecking bird thing that I love.
Yeah.
But again, then we're making fun of the fact that people only like the puppet.
But like honestly, going back, I mean, maybe we shouldn't be making fun of people for anything, but now that this has been on YouTube for a little while,
Yeah.
the sequence that everyone goes back to, because like I can
Is the
see
puppet, yeah.
people like the puppet. That's the part that gets replayed.
So this is the other part that we filmed when we were more hungover
Totally
than
hungover.
ever been in my entire life, and like I can't even
struggling to
keep
keep
my
our eyes
eyes
open.
open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole thing was
And I'm trying to do this bit where Clay's
hitting Godzilla.
Clay's disappearing up his own ass talking about
Yeah.
documentaries.
But this bit where you get up and walk away after I say people get
Yeah,
up and walk
that's
away,
good.
that gets a laugh.
Right.
Which
Oh, and here we go.
with a banjo. That's me on banjo.
Yes, doing the
Doing
Blur song.
The Blur song.
Morgan says anything at all, it's funny, right? Well,
Yeah, so that gets a laugh too.
Yeah.
everything in the right light.
So this whole monologue that I'm doing, like
But you're
in
not watching
you know,
do you?
doing a degree in music composition, you would not believe the amount of puffery
In pretension.
that you
yeah.
and pretension that you have to listen to, and it was
And they
really
usually get up
sort of a dig at a lot of the people I was in
Yeah.
school with, the kind of way they would talk about their music.
either way, problem solved.
Here we go. This is. I think this might be my favorite bit of Holly is just her annoyance as you are enunciating
So stupidly. Yeah. Yeah.
And we only shot this with 2 cameras, but it syncs up to some sound effects when we did the filming in Derek's apartment.
Yeah.
So technically it's 3.
Yeah, Derek was not actually
Oh, and
in the
there,
room.
I always like that Greg started talking about the filming when it shows up on screen that he's the one actually filming it.
Yeah. I think we did that intentionally. Didn't we?
Yeah. And this is funny. I remember we went to Costco and got a whole bunch of boxes, and my acting
The blank stare.
doesn't quite hold together for the entire time that she's supposed to be choking me. There we are. Now, this is the first time I show up as me,
Yep.
and she's cracking up and shows me in the closet. And you can actually see she's signaling me when to come in because she
Yeah.
taps on the door and then
Yeah.
locks it.
Yeah.
And then there's like 2 beats and I come and I
Yeah.
burst out with all those boxes. So while this is filming, I'm like frantically inside the closet, like stacking boxes in
Yeah.
front of me so
Yeah.
that I can do this. Okay,
Well, I suppose Holly did a lot
Yep,
of
and there's
there,
Greg again.
there she goes.
Yep.
things and adding stuff to the shots, but it
Oh,
always
not
seemed like she was trying to keep certain items out of view, like my umbrella, for instance. I got this thing at a garage sale from Clay, and I thought it was
Yeah, there isn't one linear timeline for the umbrella.
Yeah.
We sort of thought about having a linear timeline
Yeah.
for the umbrella, but I think even the umbrella has sort of a loop
Yeah.
to it.
Okay, so she just signals me and then she closes it and then bam. This bit is funny. This bit, my acting isn't half bad though.
Seems like it might
Yeah,
How did that go?
taken care of.
And there's Maddie
Yep.
filming it.
It's typical of college students.
Or a grand conspiracy.
Universal design, whose aims are unknown. yet whose
His hair is pulling a lot of weight in this scene.
and
It's
Yeah.
great.
okay, that just
He was in the generic conversation sketch, right?
think so.
Wasn't that him?
Seemed to mind. So
I thought he was just in Jay and Silent Bob.
them filming,
Who's in the generic conversation
remember.
sketch?
I got it all on tape.
Anyway,
So here I am.
This is the point
Here I
where-
am describing
And kind of boring.
the entire next making of documentary.
well, not just that, but what's come before. Like it seems
Yeah.
nonsensical, but what IU Bargain says at this point is sort
Yeah.
of the most logical way to describe
And so,
what's
and that
happening.
was like, again, 3 or 4 months apart, and now we're actually doing what Mike Steffen is filming on the studio tour. You can see my script next to me.
Yeah,
Kind of weird.
yeah, that was another.
I didn't
Yeah, 6 months probably.
enough.
Well, I think that sums it up pretty much. So by
So we had thought about
Wait, hold on.
cutting away to have like another title scene that
Yeah.
said the making of the making of the making of.
Yeah. And then we decided,
We decided
in
it
Comic
was-
Sans to, this is
yeah.
my documentary.
Yeah.
Which I kind of wish we'd put the making of UCS Dementia somewhere in that documentary.
film them, like I said.
Yeah, I feel like that's. I'm also not super happy with that decision ultimately, but
And also that's not a half bad fade. Twice.
yeah,
One guy who was a normal guy, like
twice.
me.
Yeah, yeah, because there's bits where you're saying
Yeah.
yes and nodding no.
Yeah.
And I was
You're
wondering-
you're saying 3 when you're holding up 2 fingers and stuff like that. That's not easy to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the group. But, I mean, they got upset because I filmed the wrong thing.
Can you explain?
Well, they wanted to do a tour of a studio, and...
You can see the highlighter in my
Yeah.
sleeve for this just nonsensical bit that makes no sense, but then I repeat it exactly on the
Yeah.
green screen.
Do you want to hear some... Do you want to see some magic?
No, not now.
Well,
IU Bargain just completely ignores her. Do you want to see some magic? No.
Yeah.
Well, here you go.
And poor Stephanie is trying to listen to everything and get her timing exactly right, because this is
Yeah.
down to the second.
Yeah, and there's all the background noise that
Yeah.
like
well,
you don't really hear so much on your because you're on a what do you call it,
Yeah.
microphone on your show.
Yeah.
But there's a ton of background noise because I'm doing stuff.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting story, Mr. Bargain. Can we see the footage for that?
I mean, there was intentionally some background
Yeah.
noise. There had to be, but
IU Bargain,
documentary.
this is my documentary.
I do like the fact that in spite of like
That's all I have.
all of the weirdness and all the layers, we kept IU Bargain and Brian completely separate.
Yeah.
There's never a point where like they seem like they might be the same thing. Like
Yeah. And so here's Tanner pretending to be IU Bargain, just watching the whole thing, filming planner boxes.
filming random stuff, pointing it at
Yeah.
the ceiling. Yeah.
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 And then he sets down the camera and very quietly exits so that so that you don't see him. And then we went to the media center and did this bit on a blue screen.
No. We did that in my apartment, which by then was a totally different apartment.
Oh, we did? I thought we went to the media
Which
center.
it was in the apartment that we were briefly roommates.
Oh,
Remember
yes.
that?
Yeah.
That was where we did that.
Oh, I don't remember that.
I have some production stills, I think is the
Oh,
word
okay.
for it,
Yeah.
of us putting together that green screen sequence. And then the door opening and closing was faked too, because Tanner had, quietly gone out and not made the door squeak and slam. And then someone had, I don't know who, but someone made the door squeak and slam after you left.
Pretty much, so bye.
Oh, and I love this. Blur, No Monsters in May. And I remember showing this to my dad the first time, and he sees the first credit sequence. He's like, "Oh, thank God, it's done." And then
It's like, nope.
No, it's not. And here we go. The whole idea that we're fading in from one camera to the other camera to the third camera, and now we zoom into the computer. And here's the making of times 4.
So I think this was actually a conversation that we had after writing the script.
Yeah.
We wrote this whole thing, and then we were thinking about starting to film it.
Yeah.
And we're like, this isn't going to work because I don't look anything like you. I don't sound like you. It's not going to be convincing. But, yeah.
But again, we were so hungover doing this that the timing kind of...
this one? I don't remember being hungover on this one.
Oh. I just remember either that or we were super tired. And the timing's lagging a little bit.
Tired, I would definitely believe. I mean, we kind of... We didn't... Neither of us was really living a very hard rock and roll... sex, drugs, rock and roll party lifestyle at that point. I think, I think the reason we were so hungover in that one seems because we weren't used to drinking.
Yeah. And then, this is a rerun. I hate reruns. It's like a great line.
Andy Kaufman, of
Yes.
course.
Right, the thing that inspired all of UCSDementia. And a VCR. You remember VCRs?
Years ago.
And now the real credits happen.
What?
What?
Yeah, there was this whole thing where I tried to make my voice sound higher, but without it sounding forced.
Yeah.
And that was not easy at first, and there were definitely a lot of takes where I'd do a take with my voice sounding really uncomfortably high, and then it didn't work.
Yeah.
I forgot my fake line.
But
that kills me every time. I forgot my fake line, and that's sad.
yeah.
We're rolling. I couldn't believe the realism you were bringing to the piece.
Oh, the pool parties were amazing. Female cast.
That wasn't really an outtake. That was just part of the script that we ended up not using. The female cast top list, the male cast bottom list, that was in the script.
Right.
But we just
It
decided
didn't
not
go.
to do it.
Here's Rachel. And,
she breaks the thing.
She breaks the artist model.
Yeah.
And style more suitable for American.
There were a lot of outtakes of that particular shot when we're both IU bargain. I don't remember how many, but I think we put in a couple into this reel here, but that took a long time because we could not keep a straight face.
Yeah. And then I say moo, and then you completely break.
Yeah, to your credit, you were much better at keeping a straight face when things went wrong than I was. I was always cracking up.
I started the third line without saying the second line.
Oh yeah, my sister. I think my sister was there too, and she was doing the robot at some point.
Yeah, I think it was 90% you, and then a couple of us did a little bit here and there.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
Don't sue us. We use your stuff because we like you. Yeah, just tell that to Disney. See how far you get. So, all original material, copyright 2003. Did we edit it in 2003?
No, we finished it in 2004.
So it's been about. So this
As you
is
can see the hand picking.
just for the sake of. This is March 28th of 2004 as we're recording this. So
You mean 2024?
2024. Yeah.
20 years ago today.
So almost exactly 20 years.
And that's it.
Yep, that's all there is.
Really? Yeah.
If you've made it this far, congratulations. I have no idea why.
Anyway, enjoy. Thanks for chilling out with us. Bye-bye.